Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning business chat. And we get together once a week to have one of our leaders share some great wisdom with you. And we were on our director's call yesterday, which is a lot of times where we get our wisdom to share on Thursday morning. And everyone said, yes, yes, yes. So today we have a very special treat. We have Jennifer Starr, who's going to be
Is he
talking.
rock solid at 9
I
o'clock?
don't
Because
think
I
everyone
forgot
got
to
muted.
every other Thursday meeting.
Okay, now it's quiet. And so we get together to share some support for you and your business. And having been a coach for decades myself, knowing how valuable that is in our business, we have a master with us today. She trains master coaches, and she just has the ground of being that is a perfect fit for this business. And she's going to share a little bit about coaching versus managing and what coaching is so that all of you can benefit from that. So I'm going to move the computer over to Jennifer's lap.
See if
So-
we can make this work.
Okay, we're going to make it work. Yes. All right.
Oh. Hello, good morning, everyone.
Do you want this?
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Okay, how's that?
Thank you. And I'm gonna keep admitting people as they
No,
show
no,
up.
no, you
Oh,
don't.
okay.
That's all right.
All
Timothy's
right.
handling that.
Oh, good. Okay. Good morning. After all the crazy flooding and everything that was happening here in Montana, and people are still going to be cleaning up, we're looking out at blue skies and it's just so beautiful. And I'm so grateful to be here with Robin and Gregory and have been inspired by this community. And I can turn this off so I'm not distracting myself. There we go. So yesterday, Gregory asked if I would share maybe my spin on what's different, what is different about managing and coaching, as it might pertain to our work. And, I work with a lot of managers and directors and leaders and those that are experts that come in as consultants and trainers and mentors. As they're coming through our coach certification program, the hardest thing is to let go of what they know in order to have enough space to really understand who the person is in front of them and how to work with them. And the light bulb goes off when people finally realize I can relax and spend that first get to know each other period in really stepping aside my agenda, what I want for this person, what I think would be best for this person. And managers get things done. So they know how to manage projects and where to go to get resources and all that. And their expertise comes in at the perfect time when needed, if the coaching is done on the front end of getting to know someone. So what I've discovered in this business of LifeWave, and I've only been with LifeWave since September. So it's like, wow, there is a perfect reason to bring my coaching skills into this, because I want to know who's in front of me. Is this someone that that is going to want to build their business? Is this someone that really just wants to have better health? Is this someone that loves sharing? Is this someone that does not love sharing? And all of this. So some of the key principles to coaching that I think might be useful here, they have been for me. And Robin calls me a master. No one ever really gets to the master place, right? We're always mastering. We're always getting better as we go. And part of what I've learned in my work is that unless I have a learner's mind and a curious mind, I won't continue learning. If I come in with, I know what needs to happen, I know what needs to go on, it backfires on me because I don't really know. So how many times have I actually enrolled or sponsored someone and didn't really take the time in that early stage to find out what is it who are you, and what is it you want, and what is it that inspires you, and what is it that gets in your way. And so some key principles from coaching that are really transferable in that initial stage as you're talking to someone, no matter how well you know them. To embody a coach mindset, this is the first point, is really truly believe that the person in front of you is whole, capable, resourceful, and creative. Whether they appear that way or not, whether they believe it themselves or not, whether you believe it or not, if you can really imagine that there's a person that there's so much to discover about in front of you that you can't make any assumptions about, then you're giving them the benefit and the full focus and interest. So that first point of hold people whole and capable. The second point is nothing matters until there's trust in place. If people feel seen, heard, listened to, and you take a true, genuine interest in them, it opens up a world of possibility of a way of communicating with someone that's far more transparent than someone that isn't sure that you have an agenda behind it. It's like, oh gosh, I know my family does this with me. Here's Jennifer again with another product, and I wonder what this is going to be about. My family has started looking at me differently because I actually have started taking the time to understand them. And you can know someone 60 years and not know them if you don't have a deep level of curiosity. So that next third point is deep curiosity, unconditional curiosity, and openness. What don't I know about this person that would be really useful to know? What assumption might I be making about what I think they would want or not want, or maybe based on their background or things they've said in the past? In other words, get really curious about what's relevant today and in this moment, rather than tying anything to what you think you know from the past. And it takes a lot of humility and vulnerability to be willing to not know. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Someone was getting ready for a presentation, and it was like, what if it doesn't work? What if my demo doesn't work well? And it's like, what if it doesn't? If we care so much about that person that we realize, wow, this might be beyond what I know, but I do know the people I can connect with. I do know the resources we can go look for to make sure what you need is what you achieve. So that genuine interest in another person's true goals, not in the perceived goals. And how do we find that out in that first, second, third conversation, getting to know someone? And I don't know how many weeks ago it was when Carolee and I were on this call. Carolee has a marvelous form that she gives out to every new person that she sponsors to really ask the questions I ask when I'm doing it. I do it just in my conversations with people. And Janet, she came on and they had enhanced that get to know someone form. But the form is one thing because it helps people that really are more internal processors be able to be in the silence of their own mind and be able to answer the questions and then send it back and go, yeah, this is more about me. But there are people that are never going to take the time to do that form. They're wanting to engage with you right now. And they're wanting to know, how are you going to help me with my issue? I've got this health issue and I've got that health issue. And I actually have a financial issue. Otherwise I would dive right in and, what are the perceived obstacles and what are the perceived strengths and gifts that people don't even think about what they're bringing to the table as being valuable. And so asking questions, being deeply curious and asking questions that will help surface, not only for you, but mostly for the person in front of you, a new awareness about, I've never really thought about that. Gregory asks a great question every Tuesday night at the doctor's calls. It's, if there was one thing that you could change about your health, what would that be? If you could just wave a wand and do that. And I ask that, a version of that question with people that want to do the business. It's, if you could really have what you want, what would it look like for you? What would it feel like for you? How would you be different than you are now? And those kind of questions really reveal what people value. They reveal how they want to be interacted with, the kind of person they are. So there's so much to learn from people. And so for us to be really deeply curious and authentic, let that spontaneous curiosity propel the question that's there. And the more transparent we are, the more open and on equal ground we are with whoever we're talking to, the more trustworthy we are, the more safe and the more accessible that we are to the other person. We don't want them to look up to us. Experts are there for a reason, and we pay good money to get consultants and experts to help us with the things we need. And yet, where do we create that kind of environment where someone feels safe enough to open up what their real concern is, what their real fears are, and what their true dreams are, things that they might say, I can't say that out loud because it sounds silly, or I can't say that out loud. I can't let someone know this about me. Because most of us have those inner critics that, feel the weaknesses that we have, and we don't want them to be seen. But the more real we are with people, the more trustworthy we become, and the more inspiring it becomes, because, wow, I have someone in my court. I have someone walking side by side with me on this path that's not going to let me go, and is going to do everything in their power to make sure I get what I want. And the advantage of doing this up front is then how do you want me to work with you? I'm hearing some background noise. How often do you want to hear from me? What does support to you look like? What bugs you about when someone is trying to help you? So another notion that a coach holds differently is, instead of being helpful, because sometimes the helpfulness kicks into gear of, I know what would be good for this person, so I'm going to help them. And really the question is, what are we helping them from? So a coach's point of view is, how can I be useful? Not how can I be helpful? How can I be useful in being a partner in helping this person achieve what they want? How can I be useful? And only they can tell me. So I would ask, a team member or a new customer, what do you need from me that will serve you best? And what do you not want? To really understand this, so that because each person has a different way of learning, a different way of communicating, a different style. There's people that just need to talk it through, and there's other people that will never talk about it, but they'll process it, and then they'll come back and share. So the other thing is, when we're being a true advocate or ally or partner, we are on equal ground with these people. And so I have many customers that I've learned that if I check in once a month with everybody, it's too much for some and not enough for others. So now I go back into my initial conversations and just get that all clear up front. And I know most of you that have been doing this work for a long time, this is natural for you. This is what you do. But for some of the new folks, take the time in the beginning with each person, and it'll save you loads of time later, because you won't be trying to backtrack and better understand someone. Why is someone not calling me back? It's really weird. We were so communicating so clearly, and I haven't heard from him now for several weeks. When we set things up in the beginning, agreements like, is it okay if I call you every week for the initial stages to check in? Notice what their response is to that and say, what would work better for you? What do you need? What do you want? So I don't know. There's a few things. Did I miss anything from a key point that's important that I might have stepped over?
Coming from that place of they know and asking the questions to access
Yeah.
their knowing.
Yeah.
You get it.
Robin, what is it you always say that this industry is a personal development program with a compensation plan? In coaching, we're required, the International Coach Federation has a code of ethics, and we're required to do our personal development work and self-reflective work constantly. And then we also have to do continuing education. And part of the value of that is the more I learn about myself, the more I realize there is to learn and stretch into, so that I'm never there. We never arrive at that mastery. We may have great success, but there's always something more. How can I be better in relationship with another person? How can I inspire my team? I have team members that would never show up at my team meeting because they do things privately, and they like to watch recordings and take a time to process and talk it out one-on-one with me. And there's others that just love the community. I want to be a part of this. I want to share my wins. I want to put my issues and questions out there to the group and see, how do I know who's who and what's going on until I found out in the beginning, what really is important to each one of these people. And periodically I'll check back and say, what is different now than when we started 3 months ago, 6 months ago? What would you like to update me around where you are, what you're dreaming of, what you're frustrated with? So I try to schedule my team one-on-ones, after we've had a conversation. It's like, when shall we talk again? Some people need it every week. Some people don't want it, but once a month. And some people are off and running on their own, and I have nothing to offer them other than knowing that they can come back, and I will always point them to a resource here, or reach up in our up team to get what they need. They know that I'm here. They know they can count on me, but they don't need me. They're out there doing their thing. And I think that's an important thing too, for coaches, is to know that you're going to learn from your customers. You're going to learn from your team. And when you can go in with a learner's mind and some deep curiosity, it's like, wonder what new insight I'm going to learn today from someone on my team. I wonder what I'm going to learn today that's going to make me a better leader, better person. So leadership is really, in Jennifer's world, a partnership of, I can believe in this person, I can trust in this person, they believe in me, they trust me, they hold the highest, they're not going to try to fix anything for me, but they will be useful in supporting me in getting what I need in whatever way that is. So, I think that that's it, my dear.
That's it. Well,
Thank
that
you.
was amazing. And I really hope people were taking notes because there was so much great wisdom there. And we're going to open things up for Q&A. So if you have a question for Jennifer, I just want to summarize some of the things, because, coming from that place of knowing that they know and that you're on even ground, no one is better than the other. And we're creating a place of safety, because if people are growing, it has to be safe to go into a new place. And that's one of our jobs and, really asking people, are you the kind of person that likes to be in touch regularly? Ask them. We don't know. We don't want to bother them, but sometimes people want a weekly, sometimes people want a monthly, sometimes it's every 6 months, who knows? How can I be useful versus helpful? I wrote that one down. I want to get some more distinction about the difference between useful and helpful, because right now, we're living in that question a lot. What will serve you best? Let's see. And what's important to them? And I love what you just said about, we get to learn from each other, and we have such an extraordinary community, and every single day I learn from you guys, and I love learning from you. So who's got a question for Jennifer? You want to raise your hand in the chat, or just unmute your mic and open up and ask. So who's here that wants to ask something of Jennifer? And I love feedback also of, do you see how this can make a big difference in your business? We really are coaches in our business, and it's a different mindset to be a coach than to, come from being an expert. It's a different place that we come from, and we all get to develop those muscles to do that, and you can have amazing results. One of my favorite questions is, help me understand. That's one I use a lot. So unmute your line if you have a question for Jennifer, and share, thank her, share the value. We have Michelle, Michelle, why don't you ask what you want to ask?
Good morning, Jennifer and Robin. Oh, I love you so much, Jennifer. I got to meet this beautiful woman in Tulum, Mexico.
Aw.
And she embodies everything that she's been sharing. She walks the talk, you guys. And she touches my heart every time I see her or hear her. So thank you, Jennifer, for your gifts. And I'm a little out of breath because I was exercising while I was listening, but I want to know, yes, about being helpful versus useful. If you could elaborate just a bit, because I come from a nursing background, okay, and I do massage therapy. I want to help people. I want to help people feel better. So tell me a little bit more about the is it just that it's more empowering? Is it that if you're helpful, you're saying to that person that they are needy? I mean, just help me flesh that out a bit, please.
It really all comes down to how do we define those words, because it's the intention behind the words. Someone can be really helpful if they're looking at the helpfulness as, I want to understand what this person needs and how they interpret what they need and what they want so that I can meet that need. That's the same spirit of being useful. When we come from a place of, I can be helpful because I know how to do massage and I know the body and I know what's going to be most effective. We're coming from a place of expert. So there is a place for that. Same with, and there's a place for that in this industry, in this business as well, because once you've learned what that person needs and wants and how you can serve them best, how they want to be, in relation with you and what they expect of you. I have people come in and just say, tell me what I need to do. Those people are looking for an expert that has, and I'll say, I'm no expert. I have not been doing this type of business for 25 years, but I know the experts because we've got Robin and Gregory and a whole slew of amazing leaders in this. So if someone, I also am one of those people that will seek out expertise. But if I go to a doctor's office and a doctor is not taking the time to ask me questions, I don't feel seen or heard. I don't think that they're understanding. They're just generically putting me in a category of something. But I know that I have a good practitioner when they take the time to ask me the questions and find out how I like to be worked with. And I'm sure you do this, Michelle, even in massage, is is there anything that in particular that you really like or don't like when working with a massage therapist? So you're really listening to that. But there are people that come in to this industry as experts that say, let me help you because I have something you don't have. So they are not tapping the resources, that rich gold mine of resources that are in that person, whether that person knows it or not. Right?
Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Thank you, my dear. Oh, that was so helpful. Thank you.
You're
Great,
welcome.
great. And Heidi, you got your hand up. You want to unmute?
Yes, I'm still trying to figure out how to form my question. I love that while I've been listening to Jennifer and over the course of the last 3 months, hearing Jennifer on some of the other calls, I've adapted an amazing trust. And so I'm very grateful first off. I want to ask the question in relation to when you've developed this trust and the person wants to seek you out for one of two hats, I call them hats, the roles, if you will. Yesterday, I watched the training with Emily Hollingstad with Marcy Preble, and it brought into my head the fact that she takes a hat off to do training and then puts the hat on to do the work. And I thought, is the work more the coaching while they're sitting there? I don't know if you can adapt this question if you saw the presentation yesterday, but is the work more the coaching side of it and the training more the expert side of it?
Mm-hmm. I would say that fits for me. The way you're describing it is, and I actually use that metaphor of, let me take off my coaching hat for a moment and go into mentor mode, because I am a certified mentored coach for coaches as well. And I also teach coach training. So I put on my teaching hat or my skill set hat. And so we have different roles and we have different hats that we wear. How do we know which hat to put on in any given moment? We have to be really listening. And if we aren't fully present and really hearing what someone is saying, we may not know which hat to put on, and we're assuming that what they need right now is that expertise hat or the trainer hat.
So my
when
question, I
really
guess,
what
is,
they're wanting.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No,
I guess
no.
my follow-up question is,
I already lost.
do you ask permission to put on the hat that you want to respond to? Is there a way of transitioning the
Absolutely.
permission? And I would love to hear how that works.
Yeah. You know, I maybe am not as structured in my conversations getting to know someone, because they didn't hire me to be a coach. So I'm cautious about showing up as coach when not invited, right? And I'm also hesitant to show up as teacher or expert in anything when not invited. So the getting to know each other process always includes a lot of permission. Is it okay if I share a reflection with you? What I'm noticing is you talk about this, you come alive, and yet when you talk about this, there's sort of this sinking sound to your voice, and someone might go, oh my gosh, that's because I hate doing that, but I know I should. And it's like, really? So then I know I can ask permission.
Thank you. I needed to hear that reflection word. I appreciate you, Jennifer. You're awesome. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Heidi. All right, so we have Casey.
Yep. You want to unmute Casey, and you'll probably be the last one.
Okay. I'm having a challenge. I'm fairly new. Well, I'm brand new to the multi-level marketing, networking marketing. I've never done anything like this in my whole life. So all of you experts, I try to listen in as much as possible. My challenge is I try to follow Onyx's and several other people saying reach out to 2 or 3 people a day. Well, that's not working for me. But so I try to do 2 a day. And then I ask their, talk a little bit, and then I send them a video or 2, and then I wait a day or 2, and then I follow up. And if they don't respond to my text or my phone, I wait another day and then I try again. Meantime, I'm calling 2 other new people, and then I'm going to networking meetings and I'm listening to all the trainings. And it's like, okay, this is getting a little bit overwhelming. By the end of the week, I am saying, how do you guys do it? I am in awe of all of it.
Aw. Well, I'm sure Robin has something to say about this. The first thing that just popped to my mind, Casey, is, when there's a tendency to get overwhelmed, what do you need to do to take care of yourself so that you can get back in your center and your strength again?
Wine.
One of the questions, to ask yourself is, where do I know I'm at my strongest? And what's it going to take to get there right now? Maybe it means skipping a couple calls today, and maybe I'll do 5 tomorrow. I don't know. But what is it that is, maybe I'm following someone else's formula and it's not the right fit. I'm really appreciating that you said that it doesn't really work for me. So I found a way to adapt it. It's like, keep doing that, because until we try all the things that don't work for us, how do we come to the place where our sweet spot is, right? And so this is a process. It doesn't need to be an overnight understanding, but trust yourself that if you get in a space, either reach up and ask for the support like you're doing right now, or go internal and say, what do I need right now that's going to have me back in my strength again? What would you say?
Oh, thanks. Hi, Casey. Are you listening to Darren Hardy and Jim Rohn?
No.
Okay, so I recommend for everyone, not if you're just new, but for everyone, if you go to Live Younger Success in the Get Started tab up at the top, then go down to networking videos, there is a mindset in this profession that's different than conventional business. And Darren Hardy and Jim Rohn are the masters. I was with someone the other day who had never been in network marketing. Her sponsor told her to listen to those. When I talked to her after what I'd heard, she was like before, uncoachable, trying to heal everyone, be a nurse and put them in the ER and fix them all. And she listened to that and she made the shift. It is a mindset change in this business. And we have these tools, and you guys are, I hope you're not tired of me hearing this, because I'm going to keep saying it. If you're talking, you're pointing to a tool, because conventional business, we become an expert and share our expertise. Here we don't. And it takes a lot less time to point to a tool than try to explain something. So my homework for you, my dear, and then we can continue having the conversation later, is to really understand more about this profession. It is a profession. It is different. Become a student of the business. And the reason we had Jennifer on today is, what can help us be most effective is coming from that place of being coached, coming from that place of creating a safe place for people to grow. And that's where the beauty of being curious, asking questions, being respectful of who they are, where they are, how they want to be interacted with, all those things we get to learn with new people. So in time, just be patient with yourself. It's a journey. It's a wonderful journey. If people really knew what it was, they wouldn't have any judgment about it. They'll be jumping on. So we are at the bottom of our time. So I'm going to ask, first, I want to thank Jennifer. Was she incredible? So why don't you unmute your lines and let her know how wonderful she was.
I love you, Jennifer. I love you. Thank you.
Great job.
Good job.
You're
You're the
amazing,
best.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
Jennifer, you're awesome. Thank you.
You're the
Thank
best.
you.
Oh,
Thank you,
it's-
Jennifer.
All right.
Thank you.